welcome everybody to the Lure Fishing Podcast. I nearly said Tales from Tackle Shop because we've got the same backdrop. That's something completely different.
It's nice though.
Yeah,
Like it?
Better than the Bedouin tent. So any match anglers out there, if you've, they might think this is the Tales from Tackle Shop.
Yeah.
They're very confused.
Who the hell's that?
Well, I do need different neon signs so everyone can tell the difference. Maybe a different flag. So yeah, the flag is hiding stuff. Don't give it away. Don't give it away. Okay, guys, right. So this is episode 19.
Wow.
And I have Charlie with me. No, I don't. Mr. Moir from FSS Lures.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Right, so guys will know that me and Charlie really struggle to get these podcasts pumped out. And we wanted to extend this season up to Christmas. So we've had a bit of a rethink. So Charlie's still going to jump in and out of episodes, but Tom's going to become a regular. And I think it's only fitting that we have a presentation.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
So again, it is Tackle and Baits, which is...
That's okay.
But it is FFTV.
Check that out.
I'd like to present you with the official merch that we have for this season.
Thank you.
And I would like you to wear it, please.
Perfect.
Yes, if you would. We had a trial one and it does suit you. Look at that. You look very American. Hey, man.
It's the beard.
You look like an outback woodsman. Is that right?
I think that's okay for the outback bit.
I was going to say hillbilly, but that'd be very rude, wouldn't it? So, yeah. Suits you, mate. Suits you. So, yeah, so Tom's going to come on board and do some stuff with me, which would be really good, so we can keep this going. Guys, what we do need are questions, because obviously we have a lure maker in the house, and this is good, because how long have FFS been going for? How long have you been making the old lures?
Oh, 2016 I started making lures. That was my first ever test. And then 2018 was when I started to sell them. And then 2020 was when I went full time.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so actually the time's gone really, really quick.
Yeah.
Time's gone really quick.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's a long time.
It is a long time. Yeah. Yeah, but it's good to have fishermen involved, and it's good to have people who are fishermen but also involved in the trade in different ways.
Fishermen first and foremost, really. And just a fisherman making lures for fishermen. So.
Well, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Very much... is cottage industry a rude word?
No. Cottage industry, artisanal, artisan.
Don't do that to me. Well, earlier you used the artisan word. I thought artisan, but
yeah.
now you've thrown an extension in.
Artisanal, yes. Yeah. Yeah, artisan, cottage. I think cottage industry for the UK is a nice way of saying it, because I don't want to be huge, because you lose yourself. You know, FFS Lures, someone said to me, or sent me a message and said, are you the guy behind it? I said, yeah, I suppose I am. I am it, and it is me. So by going too big, keep it cottage. It's a nice place to be.
Yeah, yeah. But having said that, a little bit bigger would be good.
A bit bigger, especially this time of the year and millennia. it's hard, but it's it does what it does, and it's nice because it's still got that connection with all the customers. So
you started up a really good idea, and that was the community get together.
Yes,
so you've done several now. So how's that going?
Yeah, that went really well. It slowed down because what I was doing it on Wednesday nights. So it was for, I don't want to jump on mental health, but as blokes, midweek, you need to have that chill out, that relax. So I was driving, I sort of made it a 2-hour journey. So up to 2 hours on a Wednesday afternoon, I could get all my orders done, down the post office done, and then get in the car and drive 2 hours away just to meet people and have a fish. And, you know, middle of the week, hump day, what better to just get out in the bank. It was never prolific. There were no PBs, there were no monsters caught, but it was just blokes fishing together. But which I think as a lure angling, we can get so insular and not have that camaraderie. I don't know if it's camaraderie.
It is, yeah. I mean, obviously, episode 18 came out 2 weeks ago, which I actually recorded only a couple of days ago. We're smashing them together because it's just like hectic.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened with me and Charlie at Blagden. So I was saying to you earlier, wasn't I? Going to Blagden, I wanted to get a big fish out, but there's no pressure because it's just like, and I had 2 brilliant days, and actually, I really enjoyed the evenings in the pub,
Right.
Because it was hairy-arsed pikers, right, sitting in the pub, and we kind of knew people by sight, but not really, and may have known their first names. But do you know what we all did? Sat
Got
together.
yeah.
And there was a local guy who could see us all talking. He kept looking across, and do you know what he did? He just said, "Can I come and join you?" And it was like,
yeah,
brilliant. So we had a gang, 2 nights running. We had different people in the gang. And it was, as we got more and more drunk, the bullshit was, and it was just, it was funny. And do you know what? And me and Charlie were talking about this on the way home. There were no egos. There were no one was trying to gain points. We were just having banter.
Yeah.
And it was funny. And it was, everyone just relaxed. And that's, to me, how socials should be, whether it be fishing, rugby, whatever, cricket, football. And when I was younger, playing a lot of sports, cricket and rugby, it was constant banter, and it was brilliant. And as you get older, this mental health and well-being is very important. As you get older, you get more isolated.
That's it. Isolation. Yeah, and it's exactly what was happening with me in the workshop all the time. I wasn't getting out, so actually going out and meeting the guys that I see on the Facebook. I see on the Facebook, and I know them by their address and their screen name and their orders, but I don't know the guys. And it was just lovely to actually get out and then meet people and say, "You are this guy. You love Junebug. you love the Core 21. You do this and you do that." Yeah, and it's like, wow. And it was just great. And, the banter as well. You got people, I think on one of them, I just released a meme that was taking the piss out of people that say, "Oh, I can cast further with my fixed ball than I do with BFS." And I've just put a picture of someone dibbling in the margins, just as a bit of banter. And there's someone that said, "I dibble." Said, "Good on you."
Yeah, I'm a dibbler.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, it's very important. Fishing is just the tool to get men together.
Yeah.
Because when you're with ladies, you can't have such. You shouldn't. I'm very traditional. You shouldn't swear in front of women. You shouldn't do certain things, and I think you just got to be a bit more. A bit more suave.
Yeah, with the blokes, the inner lad can come out.
The inner lad has to come out, and it's banter, isn't it? It's good fun, and I think
it's good for society if it comes out in a controlled manner, rather than anywhere else.
That's why I go to the gym as well. Yeah, same sort of thing. But no, it's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So they back to it. They went really well. It was really good. But obviously the nights are drawn in. I can't really travel that far, but it was a good way to get it started. So now I'm looking at doing 2 weekends a month of doing the same, where it'll either people come this way or I go somewhere. Manchester, did a weekend in Manchester. Absolutely brilliant. A guy called Glenn organised it. And that's what I said. If I haven't organised it, it doesn't mean it can't be organised. So even if I don't turn up, make a get together. Yeah,
because you're FSS Lures, but you don't have to be there organising.
Don't have to be there.
And that's the nice thing about it. You've got such a big community. Anyone can get there and do it.
Huge community now.
Talking of community, we have, I'll mention a bit later, we've got someone else who's making they're a guest appearance, so they might be a regular. So nice. I'll talk about that in a minute. So what I'm trying to do with this podcast as well is actually get more people involved. And I actually struck upon this doing the other one with Alex, because they have the winter leagues around the country.
Yep.
We've got different organisers and match anglers from around the country just sending in videos of their match results over the rounds. And I sat there and thought, this is what angling should all be about. Us all collabing together. So this is one of the reasons why Tom's also on as well, is that we're trying to expand it, but Tom's going to be more of a regular. And our special guest, who I'm not going to mention his name in a minute, that's why he's entering the fray. And there's other people who, I think I need to get involved. I need to spread this and get them involved. And you don't have to be an awesome angler.
No.
What you have to be is, one, a good talker, and two, passionate about the sport, and most importantly, really nice person.
Yeah, no dickheads.
Yeah. But no, because
although you're a dickhead, everyone's a dickhead to someone. So.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm sure I'm a dickhead to loads of people, but then we won't go down that road. Right. So it's the tool, isn't it? And it's important that we all get out there and get our thing done. It'd be
nice if lure fishing Because you just mentioned the Winter League, and I think there's more fishing competitions coming up, isn't there? That there's a local one.
Willow Grange?
Yes, that's the one. That's coming up, and I think if people can organise more of these in different areas of the country, because at the moment it's really sporadic, isn't it? It's few and far between, and it's a shop will do it or an individual will do it, but there's nothing really set out for the guys that fish in the winter leagues and your Sunday club matches. They don't really do it for lure fishing.
Right. We've got a plan in our head, believe it or not, guys, which is very rare for doing this. And we've now gone completely off script.
Totally off script.
No, but you've hit on it
yeah.
right now. So I don't know much about it, and I'm hoping to have him on at some point, and that's Steve Collett, to explain the Elite Pro League.
Yeah.
And I know I was talking to Dave Good about it, and he said, Andy, we need something like the Winter League for the match anglers, but for lure fishing. And you just touched upon it.
Yeah.
So I know there's a guy called Gareth Dudney who...
he's local, yeah.
Yeah, he's been running local pipe matches for 3 or 4 years, probably.
Yeah, I did the first one with him.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know he's a friend of my old fishing friend called Alan Dalton, because he used to mention his name. But I've never met Gareth, but that's great that he does that. Jamie Martin from Willow Grange sent me a post, and several other guys, about the most recent one that he's organising. And I think lure fishing's in vogue, and it's been in vogue for quite some time, but it's struggling to get somewhere.
Yeah. I think it would be good if there's like almost leagues. So someone like me who's I don't care enough about competition to be the best in the country, but it's nice to have a bit of competition. So it'd be like, you've got the Elite Pro League here for people that really want to push forward, and then you got the Sunday League for people like me that want to get down the pub and catch a few fish.
So interesting, because Goody was mentioning that. He said, Andy, do we need to change the name?
Yeah.
Because Elite.
Oh, Elite, yeah, you're pushing up there with...
I don't know, I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but...
I don't think it's...
But then again, the Elite
I think you have the Elite League as the Elite League, but to get into the Elite League, maybe you want to start off in the Sunday League, the Pub League, First Division, Second Division. Sorry, first. I'm not a footballer. But have that step up to it.
Here's a question then.
Wow.
So, obviously, I do spend quite a bit of time at Alex's tackle shop talking to the old maggot drowners.
Yeah.
And it is really, really obvious that, because most of they are match fishermen, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they, as you have rightly stated, at so many different levels. So the over 60s, over 65s, they have an open every Wednesday at Rookery.
Yeah.
Brilliant. They all go for breakfast. The banter is flying.
Yeah.
They take it very seriously, but they know that it's normally going to be won by 3 or 4 anglers because there's a big difference in ability.
Yeah.
Then they all have their small matches on a Sunday, so their traditional angling clubs.
Yeah.
And of course, then they have the higher level. I'm sure they won't mind me saying this. The higher level team, so like Alex's team.
Yeah.
You've got Matrix Image. You've got Cresta Peterborough. You've got Browning Hot Rods. And all that lot. So to get into that level is where you have to raise your game and be very. And then there's layers within that. So without them, there's no animosity or any jealousy about where everyone's found a natural level. Now, I think it's because match fishing has a far bigger pyramid.
Yeah.
The base is bigger.
Yeah.
There must be, I'm guessing, 500,000 match anglers, probably more.
Yeah.
It's the second highest participant angling genre in the UK. Carp fishing, I believe, is the biggest, but match fishing is very strong, particularly in areas. We have a very strong area.
Yeah.
So I do think there's a big base. Therefore, people are happy to find their level within it. I think when it's a very small base, people get a skewed image of where they are, and that then promotes the...
I think so, because, I mean, you've won Lure Series 2 years in a row. So for someone to come into the Lure Series knowing you're there, are they doing it because they think they can win? Or they're at the level where you are? But is that, by having you there, maybe there should be a Lure Series Elite, where if people are in the top 20 from last year, they compete against each other, which gives Dave down the road more of a chance. And then it's just those tiers, and you get promoted. If you do absolutely awesome one year, well, you go the next level up. And then you're competing against people that are at your level, rather than me that I just like catching little fish. It might be a thing. It might be a thing. I don't know.
Well, it is in every sport. I played a lot of cricket and rugby when I was a kid and then a young adult and an adult. And every sport I've played in, there's tiered levels.
Yeah.
In angling,
There's not, is there?
but match angling there is.
Yeah.
And that's the only facet of which there is. So, very interesting topic. And
Totally not what we said we were going to talk
no,
about.
not at all. I don't know how we got this, but I think you have to have that bigger base for it to work. But I think we're getting there. And this is what Goody said exactly the same thing. He said he'd love to have people out on boats or kayaks, which we won't get onto today.
No.
But that's growing, isn't it, massively? And kayaks are far more... it's easier to get a kayak on the water than a boat. So on a Wednesday night, you can have a Wednesday league.
Yeah. The American, one of my customers out in America, he actually organises tournaments. And there was a thing where he said, right, if you have, for this tournament, your motor must not be above 150 horse. So it's actually grading on, so people that could turn up in their John boat with a 10 horse and compete with people on a level. And I think it's the same as with the electric only lakes. So in Georgia, it's all electric only on their lakes. So everyone's trying to get a bit of an edge by having these like hundreds of volts worth of batteries under their deck just to get faster. But for the majority of people, they're all using the same electric motor, whether it be a couple of Minn Koters or e-propulsions or things like that. And it levels the playing field a little bit. Therefore, everyone enjoys it and people take part, and there's a thought that they could win.
Yeah, and it probably reduced the bickering.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I bet there's a lot of bickering about it as well. I just imagine over there, that it's not fair, he's got that. I'm not sure how I think over here, it's not so much that, is it? It's, here is a kayak or a boat for you to use in this composition because we don't have them.
Yeah.
And I've got boats out there. I never bloody use the things, and it's just a case of getting them onto the water, isn't it, and having access. But I think you're right. I think it's food for thought. And as the industry, as the sport grows even more, it's certainly something I think.
Well, something like the podcast can do. Podcast league. There you go. You're not going to sleep tonight.
No, I'm not going to do it. This is one of my big things in life. Having spent so long as a teacher, right, and spent it sounds selfish, but it's not, an inordinate amount of time organising school trips, fixtures. The last thing I want to do is get involved with organising anything, because I've realised...
Maybe there's someone in the community, the podcast community.
Yeah. What I was about to say, it's a massive thing to organise. And I've done that. And I don't want to get involved in that in angling, because it would be like having a job again.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And anybody that organises something, so Gareth organising his lure matches, Jamie Martin organising the new one, Dave Goody organised the Elite Pro one on the Riviera recently, Dave Morris, all these guys, Gary, Adrian, all these guys that organise, I just utmost respect, because organising anything, whether it be kids playing football on Sunday, whatever, all these guys that put in all the time in their local sports clubs, it's brilliant. And I just think, I've done that.
Yeah.
Not going back. So, but if people could use the Lure podcast as a title, but I mean, let's be honest, Tom, the Lure podcast probably gets between 150 to 300 views each podcast. And I was talking to Charlie about this, forever boring him. I quite like it because it's a nice little community.
Yeah.
If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Do we have enough people to have a league? Probably not. We probably need 2,000 or 3,000 listeners each time we put an episode out to get that. And I think that's going back to that.
Yeah, it's possible, isn't it? Because the match scene, what do you get on the match scene podcasts with the Attacking and Baits podcasts?
Oh, when we get going, we'll get 1,500.
Yeah.
Because we've only put the second one out. What normally happens is we that's me. I forgot to tell anybody that we were doing them, and I used to give it a big build up.
Yeah.
But now I just chuck them out. So, I mean, the first one hit 750 last week. It would get over 1,000 as people realise. The second one's, it's only after one day, 650. That'll go over 1,000. And as we get going towards the winter league, they normally hit 1,500 to 2,000. Hopefully that's going to grow, because we've got the organiser, the guys feeding in from their region. But it just shows you that's what I can say about the pyramid, because I know from those stats that you can compare the two. So the match fishing one's so much bigger, and that's just for our little area, really. So, yeah, but it's something that...
Well, it's out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Once you say it, it's out there.
And then I think it's great that the individuals do this, but I think companies should do this. I think companies have a responsibility to grow the sport. They make the most money. I'm not talking about someone like yourself, an artisan.
Yeah, an artisan.
A
cottage artisan.
Artisanal. No, what word?
Artisanal.
That's brilliant.
I think it's a word. I'm sure it's a word.
You can't do that. I'm talking about Fox. I'm talking about Daiwa. I'm talking about the big boys.
Yeah.
They're the ones that have got the resources and the money. They're the ones that should be organising these types of league.
Yeah.
They should be pumping a percentage of their profit back into the marketplace.
Yeah. Do it. Which camera are you on? Everyone.
Well,
both of you.
Let's go that one now.
Yes.
And let's go back to that one.
Yeah, and do it.
But they should.
Yeah.
In America, they do. So I know there's a...
It's the Bass Pro League, isn't it?
I'm not meant to know this, so I'm not going to say where it is.
Okay.
But there's a competition being sponsored by a big boat engine company. And guess what? There's not a boat engine in sight.
They're not.
Because they want to be part of it.
Gotcha.
It's still fishing.
Yeah.
This is American. And you're just thinking, well, they're collabing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They have a different mindset, and that's why it's so big and grows. So there we are. Right. I was checking the time. We have done 25 minutes on something
We weren't meant to
that we weren't even meant to be talking about. Right. Let's get on to colours, because I know we've done colours before, but we're going to come from a different angle, aren't we?
Yes.
So we're going to do a little bit on fishing colours, but I want to talk to you about what you're doing with FSS Lures, because you've had a complete switcheroo.
Had a mindset change. So when I first started, my research was the US. So my lures were scaled down bass lures. And
What colours?
the actual lures themselves are scaled down bass lures, but because I was heavily influenced by those guys, the colours were black and blue, June bug, green pumpkin, watermelon red, and a pearl. Sold nothing with those 5 colours.
But they all work.
They are staple. They are staple. I got rid of watermelon red, and my American friend said, "What? That's like, if I haven't got 10 packets of anything watermelon red on my boat, I'm not fishing." And it was like one of those colours that people just didn't buy. I was like, okay, what do we do? So then the next level was actually, I can make lots of different colours, and I can make dual colours and everything else. And that's kind of where I grew with the different colours. Unfortunately, I ended up with 26 different colours. Guggen don't have 26 different colours. Fox don't have 26 different colours. But me,
I've got a vision in my head, right? I've got a vision in my head. I'll be waking up, firing up your computer, and you've got these orders, and you're thinking, oh my God, I've got to do 5 of that one, 10 of that one, 25 of that one, and it's never ending. You're kind of thinking, what? I've created a monster.
I did create a monster. It was an absolute, and it's been 2 years of. I saw a photograph that you took of me 2 years ago, 2021, when I caught a nice pike on the river, and I looked so young. I looked so young. I didn't have any lines, didn't have any creases
we all
in my
did 2
face.
years ago. I don't know what's happened.
Oh, so I made a monster, and it's right, because I make lures to order, because I can't make to stock all those colours, because you just don't know what's going to sell.
Yeah.
And because I'm very small in comparison to everyone else, I am selling a packet here and a packet there. But what happens is people then go, oh, I want one of those in that colour, and I want one of those in that colour. Oh, and I grab one of those in that colour. And so for one person's order, which might be £5 a packet, I've now got to spend 3 hours to do that. So £15 in 3 hours work, it doesn't really make sense. So no matter what, each batch of lures that I make, whether it be 1 packet or 10 packets, takes me around an hour and a half in each colour. And you've got 26 colours, and you don't know what's going to come next. Some days, in the height of the season, I'm making 700 to 1,000 lures a week. And you can imagine that I've got 3 days to make those in.
No exaggeration, guys, right? So I get in touch with Tom 2 or 3 times a week. If he picks up the phone once, I'm thinking, that's good.
Yeah.
Because, and I know now, He's probably ignoring me. I don't blame him if he is. But actually, what he said, that's busy, and I try and avoid phoning him on a Monday and Wednesday.
Yeah, don't do. Or Wednesday and Friday. That's my packaging day. If anyone talks to me during packaging, I send out random stuff.
But because you are so busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've had
Yeah.
to actually make it more efficient, I suppose.
I've got to make it more efficient. So one of my best-selling colours is Junebug. Junebug is a lovely deep purple green glitter, and it's a single colour. I can make those until the cows come home because it's a single colour. The thing with dual colours, and this is my own fault because I am a perfectionist. If they aren't, and people are going to say, "Oh yeah, but the fish don't care," but I do. Like I said to you before, every packet of lure that I send out, it might be the first time someone sees my product, and therefore they've taken a punt, which I'm very appreciative.
Right, I've got to cut in here.
Go on.
I've got so many FFS lures downstairs at Bates because I raid Tom's rejects. Because he's like, you are the perfectionist. I go, what's wrong with that? When you go, well, look, I go,
Yeah.
no, but
Yeah.
you want to make the right impression to the customer the first
right
time.
impression first time. So even if it's a dual colour and just a bit of glitter has bled into the bottom colour from the top colour, it breaks me. It breaks me. And so that was one of the things that to get 10 lures, I'm making 15. So there's a lot of wastage as well, which isn't good. So what I've done is I've actually said, you know what, I might be committing business suicide. I'm going to take away all the dual colours and I'm going to replace them with 16. Obviously, since I made that decision to make 16 only, I've now added 2. So back up to 18. But they're easier colours to make. So I can actually make stock. And by making stock, I can do a live stream again on a Friday. Because everyone loves those Friday live streams where I'd make colours live and I'd actually have them for sale that week or that month as the live stream colour, and people could be part of that journey. So that's going to free up time. And a lot of it is just freeing up time.
Yeah.
And it's
because you can't actually reuse that plastic once you've made it, can you?
If you've got the single colours, I can remelt every time. So that's not wastage. When you do dual colours, once they're together, you can't get them apart. I can spend hours with a pair of scissors, and you know what? I just say to myself, "No, that's done. That's done."
Yeah.
And it's frustrating, especially. I mean, there's a couple of live streams going back a couple of years ago where 8 o'clock at night, I just say, "Guys, I'm done. This has broken me." Like, yeah, here's the colour. Oh, shit. But that's what it is. That's it on a daily basis. So actually, by going back to these colours, so I've kept everything bracketed. So I've got dark colours. So I've got a Junebug, which is a lovely dark colour, and I've got black and blue, which is a staple dark colour, and I've got one that I'm going to call Cow Pie because it's a really dark brown colour. They're my dark colour combos. I've got 4 bright colours: white, bubblegum, pink, orange, and chartreuse. So that covers the canal guys that want these bright colours in the face. And then the natural translucent colours come in. But I've got 3 colours which I've called an oh yeah, because I looked at it once and went, oh yeah, and that's what I called it. So it's oh yeah blue, oh yeah gold, and oh yeah silver. And they're like, they have a sheen to them. So they're clear baits, but they've got this blue sheen, gold sheen, silver sheen. So that's going to be for your shads and your flukes, covered with clear water. And then you've got your watermelon reds back. Thank God. Electric green pumpkin, which was my favourite when I first started. All I used was Junebug, electric green pumpkin, and a bluegill flash colour. So I had 3 colours. That's covered me for everything. So yeah, green pumpkin, electric green pumpkin, watermelon red, Rhesus X, which is like a bloodworm sort of colour. So that's there. And then I call them novelty colours because they change with the UV. So motor oil, which is a great colour, that changes to a chartreuse with the UV.
Yeah.
I've got one called Firefly, which is pink and a browny orange. That changes. And a new one, which is Zombie Blood, which is a brown but translucent. It's blue.
So going to the UV colours, do you... yeah, mate.
And breathe. In a nutshell,
my little light bulb brain went off then. I think in the UK, and people disagree with me if you think I'm being a bit patronising. I don't mean to be, but I think most of us don't understand UV.
No.
in baits. And this is my reasoning why. So, Sportfish Masson, Anders brought out this disgusting green, lovely size shad, about 20 centimetres, 21 centimetres, that he made just for the show. That's it, hand poured. And I looked at it, I thought, ugh. I said to Jimmy, my mate, I said, Jimmy, this looks like a green turd. He went, what?
Yeah.
He says, no, he got his phone and went, look, and it went ping, and it lit up. Because I don't understand UV very well at all. He had pumped so much this thing in the water. I've chucked it, and it looks like it looks a completely different colour in the water. It looks like a shimmery, fishy, glowy thing. And the same thing happened to me last year when I was perch fishing in Sweden. So we dressed the chatterbaits with 7 or 11 centimetre Wolf Creek shads. And I was saying and I had these, they gave me these shads, and I'm looking at these colours. I didn't even try them in the UK because I don't understand it, you see. So Jimmy said, which one should you put this one on? I went, it was an olive green. We used that one, and a very white washed out one. I went, they're shit colours. He went, no, they're great. He said, so I put it on, and I poured it through the water, and I thought, Andy, there's so much to learn in lure fishing all the time. And it was mind-blowing. And I think in this country, because we haven't got the background in it, we don't understand. We need to actually physically go through the process of using them and seeing them. So I think most people aren't going to buy them unless they can actually see it. When I saw these shads on these chatterbaits, I thought, oh, God, I'm such a fool.
Yeah, because the thing as well, people also market UV in a totally... It's like, it's UV, and therefore it's going to be the best. But at times, you don't need it. It's one of those things that you just think, is it a selling point? So on the grubs, so I made them with yellow and chartreuse. So the chartreuse UV is reflective in it, but they're a yellow colour. But when the UV hits, so UV is obviously the sunlight. Sunlight is UV, but we just don't see it because we don't have that vision until it's reflecting UV enough that we see it. And then, but I've caught, so nighttime fishing, everyone says, it's got to be a bright colour and UV reflective. I use Junebug.
Yeah, what's it? So we're going to get to that in a second, the silhouette thing.
Yeah.
But going back to the UV thing, because we're not fish, we don't know what fish see.
No, we don't.
I'm a great believer in it actually being, if I'm confident with it, I will fish so much better with a bait on that. So I now know, I don't think like a fish because I'm not a fish, unless I grow gills. But in the water, I'm like, that looks bloody cool. I'll fish it better. So going back to these little shads, I just thought to myself, wow, now what I do is I just put on anything, chuck it and have a look. And if I fancy it, it stays on.
Yeah.
And if I don't fancy it, it comes off.
Yeah. You'll fish it longer. If you've got confidence, you'll fish it longer. And therefore, you'll catch more fish. It's all the time that people say, I don't catch any fish on that lure. Because they're having a bad day. They didn't put it in front of a fish. The fish didn't bite it, so because there's no fish there. And therefore, that is now a crap lure. And then they find the lure that does work, and that works, and then they're having a bad day, and then they go, this lure didn't work. I'll try this one. Put it back on, already thinking this one doesn't work. And then they put it on in the worst situation going because it's a hard day's fishing. They're not on the fish, and therefore that lure is now again it's relegated.
Yeah,
and that's it. You're done. Confidence.
Yeah.
So I'm in a good place because I have confidence in all my lures.
But as a business owner, you've got to try and get that message across.
So difficult.
Yeah, because people.
So difficult.
I think most people are pretty good. They're very good at saying, I'm learning. What's the best colour? And you kind of go, we'll touch on this in a minute. What we're going to do, because we're going to get on to the old silhouette question in a minute.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But before we do that, we have a Bradley hunt.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put Bradley in here. Not physically, because he's not here, but Bradley's going to come in here. Now, we're trying this out, and bear with us, guys, because I literally phoned Bradley, or he phoned me, to be fair, about 2 hours ago. And this is like, we're going to try something new because I want to get more people involved. So Bradley, hopefully, is going to do us a product section of what's new.
Nice.
So
that's good.
I don't know what he's going to do because it's up to him.
Yeah,
but we're going to plug this in about now.
Right, guys. I thought I was going to record this at home, like in my little studio setup and stuff. But I thought it's a lovely day. It's fresh in my mind. Why not record it out on location and talk about the whopper plopper? This one's the Berkley Choppo ep19. It's just something that I've had some decent perch on it this morning, a couple of little jack pike and stuff. But it's one of the things everyone seems to know about them, but you don't see too many people using them. And I'm just wondering why. Such a great little lure, especially this sort of size, not the 90. Just it's a bit of a do-all. It'll do your perch, it'll do your chub, it'll do your pike. It's just, yeah, Choppo ep19 whopper plopper. So there's the Savage Gear one. There's I forget the name of it now, but there's that one that everyone goes on about, the little mini ones. And yeah, why not? Let us know in the comments why we're not using these more. In a bit.
Right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that. So thank you, Bradley, for doing that for us.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, let's get back to Mr. Moir.
Okay.
Okay, so you must get a myriad of questions from customers.
Yeah, I do.
Come on, throw a couple out.
Okay, so, well, it's that time of year. So we've gone through the lean spell of everyone's still carp fishing, tench fishing, bream fishing. Don't know why you would, but they do.
I like a bream.
On the lure, they fight really well. But now we get into that point, and every year it's the same. And a lot of people want to take up lure fishing. They've come away from what they're doing, and they see lure fishing. They go, oh, I want to give that a go. Biggest question is, what colour do you recommend? Can you recommend me something? And I go out, I have what I call now an everyday carry box. And so when I go perch fishing, I've got a little clamshell box, and I've got 4 colour types: dark, natural, and bright. And that's all I take. So I have three lures. So I have, if I'm going perch fishing, and I'm only talking, I want to catch like up to a 2-pounder. I'm taking small lures because I want to bite. I take a micro FFS, which is a little floating stick. I take a Craw 21, which is a little crayfish imitation, and then I take a creature bait, which is the K2. And I've got those in Junebug, green pumpkin, that Oh Yeah blue that I mentioned, and bubblegum. They cover everything. So that's a question I get asked a lot: is what do you use or what do you recommend? And I say just take colour types.
Wow.
That's it.
What do you reckon I take?
Everything that's in your pocket.
I have no preference.
No.
And do you know why? Because every time I go somewhere, I know what works or what I have confidence in.
Yeah.
But also, I'm always trying, because in my head I'm thinking there must be something better in my box that I've not used.
Yeah. See, I don't. I go with what I know works, and that's what I said before. Is that I have utmost confidence in everything I take, or everything I make. I have utmost confidence in. So I don't need to take this. I don't need to take that. I don't need to take that. I know that I'm going to catch something on these, but because I'm confident, I'll throw it, and I'll throw it for longer, and I'll throw it in all different areas until I catch. So it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Isn't that interesting? Because I'm just as confident with any lure, but in my head, I know that because they're all different densities of plastics, blah, 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 even a very similar shad to another shad from different companies' makes will move differently in the water. So what I'm doing, I'm comparing in my head that one to that one to that one to that one. Here's my go-to. I know if I put that on, I'm going to see the fish respond. They always respond when I put this on in this situation. But I only put that on if I can't catch on the others. Because what I want to do is prove...
build up an arsenal.
I want to build an arsenal. Yeah. And that's what I'm doing all the time. So I've got colours in my box that I have never caught a fish on, but in my head I haven't used it in the right situation. Yeah. But I think I'm really confident throwing it because I'm thinking, this is going to go, this looks really good in the water. If it looks crap on how I set it up, it doesn't get chucked. Yeah. But as long as I always give it a test, and if it's doing what I want it to do, or close, or it's doing something different, and I go, oh, I wonder if that will work.
I suppose that I've done that in design phase, so I know it's going to work. So if I go down the local here and it's got colour in it, I'm just going to throw Junebug. I might go to green pumpkin because it's another silhouette colour, but I'm going to throw those lures because that's all I take. But one thing that I used to do, so when I first started, I've done what everyone else did. I've still got packets and packets of lures in the garage, which I haven't even opened, but because it was the next big thing. It was this, I have to have that, because you sold it. You sold it 100%, aren't you? So I've got all these lures and everything else, which I don't use. I should just get rid of them. But they're part of the journey. So what I do now is I look at the water conditions and think, right, that is going to be, it's nice clear water. The light level's this, which is, it's an American way of looking at it. I suppose that's why I was so influenced by it. Dark coloured water, dark lures. Low light conditions, dark lures. Clear water, bright light, natural lures. And that's it. So one of the things that I did when I first started, I did this a lot on the bank. Okay, throw that. That didn't work. Try this. But I wasn't fishing the way I fish now. The way I fish now is do the margin. Do that margin. Go a little bit further. Because my mindset is, if I put it in front of a fish, it's going to get bit. So when people say to me, oh, you need to have vibration, you need to have flash, I'm like, just need the fish to see it. And if it's in the water in front of them, that far away from their face, it's going to get bit. And that's confidence. That's it.
This is quirky, right? Pike will pick up a bait innate on the floor, on the riverbed or lake, or whatever it is. There's no vibration.
No.
It can have been there for 20 minutes. Chris Birtle, ginger fisherman,
Yeah.
he's big into this. He will let a bait lie on the bottom.
Yeah.
He'll say, if you can't get a pike to respond, he'll cast at it, let it sink and hit the bottom. He says, they'll go and pick it up. They know, I'm convinced the fish know it's not a food source, but they've got no hands.
They'll see it. They've got to check it out.
They've got to check it out, and the only thing they can use is their mouth.
Yeah.
I catch really big fish now by not getting them to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, in my mind, I'm not a fish. That's my mindset. Yeah. Sometimes I know I can activate them. When I can't, there's other ways you can catch them.
Well, one of the questions is always, what would you throw in dirty water? And I've said it's always going to be a dark colour. And I think I used the wrong word, because you say silhouette. Whereas I think that if you say silhouette, you're picturing it against something. Whereas I think when I fish, I like fishing in dirty water, because I think you've got more of a chance of a reaction bite. Because if there's only 6 inches of visibility, all of a sudden this lure approaches this fish that's here, and it goes, well, what the fuck's that? I'm having it. So you get more of a reaction bite on it. Whereas in clear water, they're like, what's that? What's that? What's that? And you've got to work harder to actually get them to bite. They're going to bite because you put it in front of their face. There's a 50-50, and I always put that in my favour. You can't put 50-50 in your favour though, can you? That makes no sense.
You can change 50-50 to 51-49.
51-49.
Which is good enough.
And it's a win.
Okay, I'm going to tell you a little tale now. So when I was a bait angler, obviously we've scent for dead baits. It has to be. It has to be, because most of the time it's lying on the bottom, it's in the silt, it's in weed. It has to be the scent. But obviously when a fish gets near it, it can see it. And then you go down the progression of experimenting with pop-ups and whatever. So we were fishing this fen drain. This is way back in the day. And I remember the guy's name. It was John Ward. He was a really successful pike angler, and he'd caught some really massive tench from Norfolk. And we were on this drain one day, and I was going, we ain't caught him. Look how coloured the water is. He went, Andy, watch this. He had a big bucket. He went down to the water, filled the bucket up with water, brought it back. He went, look. And I'm not joking, it was nearly as clear as that. And I went, he goes, yeah. He goes, it looks dirty to us because it's the
just
reflection
suspended particles,
of the, but actually the water isn't that coloured. And I think, and we're not fish.
No.
And it's their home and their eyes and everything else they have. And I think we get so sucked into it because we like to work it out what's going on. Now, I try and remember that because I think, and I think sometimes, so Blagden, there was, as you come out of the little harbour, there was the water level dropped, and the birds were standing on this island, and because the waves were hitting this little island and the birds were on it, the water off it was really coloured. And as you come out, you went further down the shoreline, the sediment drops, it got clearer.
Yeah.
So beginning of the day, we were getting every cast bang bang from these jacks, but in the clear water. It lasted about an hour, and as I'm exploring around, I thought, just try the dirty water. Bang, bang. And this was when the sun was up later in the day. So in coloured water, with that sediment, what we call coloured and a fish would call slightly off
Yeah,
tap
it's
water.
okay,
It perhaps just gives them a little bit more confidence to stay feeding for a bit longer because they got a little bit more.
It's more cover.
A bit of respite
Yeah.
from the brightness. I don't know. Just trying to work it.
I don't know, but I mean, I look at it and I think, well, do I take too many colours by just taking 4? There's a can of worms.
No, it's not. Because when I go into comps, I can fit everything in one box.
Yeah.
Because I'm only taking those bad boys
Ones that you know.
that are the ones that's why I'm always looking for the new Wonder Lure
Yeah.
in my head, because I've got lures that I've caught lots of fish on and there's nothing else going in that box. Not even if I've got something that may work, it doesn't go in. I remember I started doing this last year. I'd go for everything and I had my normal stuff, loads of gear. And then the comps, I'm thinking, bloody hell, I've got literally 2 boxes.
Yeah.
And it's my shad box has got everything in. And it's just stuff that I've caught a lot of pike on. Perch, zander, whatever it is. And nothing. So you have to be really, really kind of strict and go. So when I first did it, I went, I want to take those. I go, why? And also, I bought lures that my boat partner caught on. This was important. And I've got lures in this box that I actually haven't caught on, but I've seen be very productive because I know that it might be a situation where I need that, but I don't have had to have caught on them. I just need to have witnessed someone catching a lot of fish on that model and colour. It goes in my box.
Isn't it weird? I mean, I've got one customer. All he buys is June bug and white. That's it. And he catches some whackers. And he's like, what was that on? Well, it was on white. Why is that? Well, because it was a white day. Because a fish is white, isn't it? And if you look at the underside of a perch, it's white. You look at the underside, it's white. You look at the roach, it's white. And you just think, I don't fish white. This is why I don't fish white. It's a bastard to make. So I don't fish white because I hate making white. Don't buy white lures. Don't buy too many, but buy white lures.
I put a white fly on the other day. I'm crap at tying flies, right? I can only tie one model design.
Yeah.
It just I like to catch my own flies, and it does what it does for me well enough. So I said to Charlie, I said, I tied a white one. I've never caught on this, and I kept on all day.
Yeah.
It didn't make any difference at all. Started catching on that as well. It's just confidence.
It's confidence. If you throw something for long enough, then you're going to catch fish on it.
Yeah.
That fish, if you're in the right place at the right time, you're putting it past fish.
Yeah.
You've got to be confident.
Right. I am conscious of the time.
Yeah, we have.
Because we didn't speak about. We've still got other stuff that we were going to talk about. But this is why I love having Tom here, because this is what me and Charlie are the same. You just get. It's like being in the pub. So you can imagine. So I've got to tell you this tale. I mentioned it last episode, right? I introduced Charlie to Grandad's piss, which was this scrumpy. And when I used to go to the Stoke Inn, oh God, they used to sell it in plastic jugs from the orchards.
Right.
They brew it in the orchards, and the local pubs would sell it. And they have absolutely no idea of the alcohol content. It's normally between about 7 and 13%. So I used to go down there with a guy called Guy Eldridge, and he's brilliant. So he's Leicestershire. When I used to pick him, he goes, "Right, boy, get me down there. I'll get on Grandad's piss." And I go, "Are you going to drink that stuff again?" He goes, "Well, may as well." 2 pints. He was gone. Ed. Yeah. So I said, "Charlie, do you want a pint of Grandad's piss?" And his excuse was, "Well, I was in a pub full of pikers. I had to say yes." He said yes. So I said to the barmaid, I said, "Can I have a pint of Grandad's piss?" And she was like, "Sure, I heard of it. Do we sell that?" She turned around to the other guy working on the bar. I said, "Yeah, it's now Thatcher's, that one on the left." So Thatcher's have taken this on at 6%.
Yeah,
but it was
regulated.
It was clouding. And he was hanging the next day. But yeah, it was funny. And that's, to me, fishing's the tool.
Yeah.
To have, going back to what we talked at the beginning, having the social at the beginning, isn't it? It's perfect.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate you joining me. Thank you very much.
Well, hopefully people enjoy it, and I've enjoyed it. So that's the thing.
That's the only thing that matters.
Yeah.
We'll see you more regularly. Bradley, thank you for your section as well. And we've got a few other guys who we're going to get in contact with. If you are feeling up for it and brave, apply within.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Collaborate, grow the community, job done. Get it out there.
It's the only way, mate, isn't it? Yeah. Thank you for
100%.
joining us.
Thank
And
you very
that
much.
hat.
Thank you for the hat. I do hats. I've got the face for hats. Got the face for radio too.
Right, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you, Tom. See you later, guys.
Ta-ra.
Bye-bye.